Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the Baja Box Duran boxing gloves. So check it out. Hey guys, Carlo here. Today I'm doing a review on a relatively new brand based out of Tijuana, Mexico, Baja Box Duran boxing gloves. These are handmade in Mexico, in Tijuana. I got mine in 16-ounce lace-ups in this red, white, and blue colorway. Now, when I first got these gloves, my first impression of the gloves, aesthetically, as well as putting my hands in the gloves to feel them out, is they kind of remind me of a combination between a Reyes and a Grant glove. So if Grant and Reyes had a baby, to me these would be those gloves. I got them in 16 ounces. It does have a kind of a medium profile. I wouldn't say that these are overly large or too compact, kind of right there in the middle. Full genuine leather construction. You can see that it has a really cool looking logo on the back of the glove. It says Baja Box Duran, Tijuana, Mexico. Definitely like the look of that. The leather on here does have more of a satin finish to it. And coming down to the cuff, you do have a dual cuff. So one thing that's unique that I haven't seen in a glove yet is a glove that has a split cuff like this. So you can see that they have a partitioned section of the glove. Obviously they stitched in this plastic patch that is actually recessed into the cuff. So there's no sharp edges sticking out from the plastic, which is a big bonus, especially when you use these gloves for sparring and training, so you don't have any sharp edges. But it does say Baja Box Duran, Tijuana, Mexico. You do have the 16-ounce weight tag at the bottom where the white piping is at. But again, you have a flat cuff, and then it's stitched and segmented, and then you have this piece right up here. Rotating to the palm side, you can see it is a split palm. Blue on the outer edge, white on the inside, red piping around the thumb. Nice long round laces with the plastic tips at the end. And I'd say that the padding on the inside is probably one of the best features of this glove. You have almost an inch of pretty firm density padding on both sides of the inner wrist. And you can see it goes all the way to the top there, as well as on all the way up to the top here where you have the double stitching. And then on the back, you're looking at maybe like an inch to an inch and a quarter of that same firm density foam padding. Now you're starting to see more Mexican made gloves that use a little bit more of a smoother liner. In this case, you can see that they use this polyester nylon liner, which I like more than that canvas liner, which is much softer and does a good job of wicking away moisture and keeping your hands pretty cool. So I definitely like the liner that they used in there. You do have a really large grip bar in the finger compartment area, about 5-6 ventilated holes on the thumb. You also have an attached thumb, which is a black leather piece right there. I wish it was a little bit bigger. And then on the thumb, which we'll get into here in a second, the shape is definitely different from what I'm used to, is Baja Box Duran, again, Tijuana, Mexico. So I think it's a pretty sharp looking glove. I like the design of it, and has kind of a very unique, long, slender look to it. Quality of the gloves are pretty good. I like the quality of the leather. It's held up pretty nice. I've been using this for several weeks now. Just to also mention, I actually got this pair on eBay, but you can also purchase this directly from Baja Box Duran. I'll make sure to put their Instagram and their Facebook link in the description box. So if you guys are looking to buy a pair yourself, that's the route I would go. I just lucked out because I was looking through eBay and I found this pair of these gloves that were pretty much in brand new shape. So just figure I'd mention that way you guys know where to get these from. So yeah, the leathers looks really good. One thing I noticed about the logo that's printed on the back is that it does have a little bit of transparency. So I wish that the logo was a little bit more of a solid white, and you can see that I wouldn't necessarily call it fading. It's just like the actual ink that they use to print it looks like it's kind of transparent and it's not as solid as you would like to see. The stitching on the back of the cuff could definitely be better. Use double stitching, but you can see it's pretty crooked. And there's some areas where the stitching was done kind of poorly. You have that outside edge too, and again, just kind of a crooked line with stitching. This side is a little bit better. On this side, definitely could have been way better than that. The tag right here, good position. You can see it's not completely center. It probably could have been pushed that way a little bit more. Liner's good. Piping around the bottom of the cuff is great. Weight of the gloves were at, I believe both gloves were exactly on weight with each other. So I believe they were both 17.1 ounces. So at least each glove is the exact same weight, but these are about 1 ounce overweight than their advertised weight. Again, no surprises there with Mexican style gloves. I kind of come to expect that from a Mexican made glove, that they're going to be overweight. When they're underweight or when they're on weight, that's when I'm surprised. You can see the stitching on the outside edge starting to pull away from the leather a little bit. The symmetry of the glove between the left and the right's good. Stitching palm looks good, leather looks good, and yeah, overall, and you can see here how the leather wrinkles up. It has a little bit more of a softer feel to it. The padding density is on the medium side. I believe they use latex like a lot of gloves, and then the balance of the glove again is really nice. And again, you can attribute that to the amount of wrist support padding they put there to really give you a nice rigid feeling glove, so it doesn't feel floppy. It has a lot of structure to it, and it has a lot of support, especially through this midsection of the glove, which is what you like to see. Comfort of the glove, sliding your hand in here. This is probably one of the better gloves in terms of hand ergonomics, except the thumb. So when you slide your hand in here, one thing you'll notice is that it does have a kind of a longer cuff on this glove. And one other thing I noticed is that your hand is kind of positioned deeper into the hand compartment. So one thing I love about these gloves is that you get an excellent fist positioning with this glove. You slide your hand in there. There's no bunching up of the material. You have this grip bar here that grips down nicely, and you can make a really nice tight fist with this glove, and it's not too roomy. I like, there's the Casanova, the authentic Casanova, like the Nicali, and I even did a review on the Angelus gloves a little while back, and those gloves were just way too roomy. I mean, the Angelus was a little bit better, but even with hand wraps on, those gloves just had a little bit too much wiggle room side to side. With this, it's nice, has a nice compact feel, but it doesn't choke your hand out, which is great. And it does have a little bit of a broken feel, but it's going to take a little bit more time to really break these in. But I definitely love how deep my hand goes into the finger compartment. The thumb, however, is definitely a little bit of an issue. So you'll notice that this thumb has kind of a weird shape to it. It's almost like a flat thumb. And you can see it has about 1 inch of padding on the back. But the shape of it, when you look at it, it just kind of goes straight that way. It doesn't kind of go upwards like you see with some of the other thumbs, where you can where the positioning of it kind of turns upwards in that direction. This one just kind of comes straight flat out diagonally, and what ends up happening is my thumb ends up kind of jamming like right about here. So if this was clear and you could see my hand on the inside, basically my thumb is like right inside here, and it constantly jams at this area. So to me, it's like, if you're gonna make these gloves and you put your hand in there, even when you make a fist, my hand is still, or should I say my thumb is still kind of jamming in that, and which is really bad. I mean, in terms of comfort, especially if you're going through rounds and rounds of bag work or sparring, that's definitely going to bother you, and you'll end up just kind of continuing to jam your thumb into that spot, which is really a shame, because everything else about this glove when it comes to comfort is on point. So to me, if they can just somehow kind of pull this thumb back, you know, the good thing is that it doesn't flare your thumb out like some, like REYES gloves or even Nicali. You feel like your thumb is going that way a little too much, like it's doing one of those. So the good thing is you don't get that, and this piping is actually pretty comfortable too. It's just the fact that it just comes at this weird angle, which I feel like they could have corrected by just pulling the thumb up and back and up a little bit more, so that it's a little bit more in a natural position. So that's my biggest complaint about the comfort of the glove, but everything else about the glove is extremely comfortable, which I like. So protection and performance, this uses latex foam padding. I'd say it's a medium density glove. A great training glove. So if you want to use it for sparring, use it for bag work, hitting the mitts, really everything in the gym, you can pretty much do that with this glove. You get a good amount of pop and bang on whatever you're hitting, whether it's this mammoth bag that I have here, hitting it with a heavy bag. Shock absorption, if you're looking for something extremely shock absorbing, I'd say that this is kind of mid-tier when it comes to that. If you have hand issues, you'll definitely feel your knuckles go through on this latex foam. So maybe supplement your hand with a gel pad, or just wrap your hands up really well, because you definitely will feel your knuckles kind of pierce through on the latex. So if you're looking for something with max shock absorption and protection of your knuckles, then just definitely be aware of that with these gloves, because again, when I say that these are a Mexican style glove, they really kind of stick to that latex style foam. That's a little bit more on the medium to soft side, typically is what I typically see when it comes to these style of gloves. Cost wise, these gloves are actually at a really great price point. They're at about 1,300 Mexican pesos, which is about, when you convert it over to US dollars, about 70 US dollars. Obviously, that goes up and down throughout the year. So it just depends on where you live and the currency exchange rate. So, but conversion wise, these are about $70, which is a steal, in my opinion, for a really nice Mexican made glove. It does have a couple of its flaws. Obviously with the thumb, the stitching could be better. But even with that, at the price point of 70 bucks, I mean, the way these perform, the leather's nice, really nice hand compartment. They have really cool colors. One thing you do have to keep in mind is that this is a smaller workshop. So Duran is not this huge operation where they're just churning gloves out, left and right. So if you are looking to get these gloves, I would reach out to them. It does help if you do speak Espanol. But again, if you don't, I'm sure that they can somehow accommodate you at what you're looking for. One thing I maybe would suggest is, if you do order gloves similar to the ones I have here, is maybe mention to them like, hey, is there any way you guys can like pull the thumb up a little bit when you manufacture these, or make sure the thumb is in this position, so you don't have the exact same problems that I had or issues. Granted, your thumb may be shaped different than mine or positioned differently, but I would definitely assume that the thumb could be an issue with these gloves because of the way that these are positioned, in my opinion. But outside of that, I think these are a great bang for the buck glove. Outside of the little small detailed issues that I mentioned earlier, to me these are definitely well worth the $70 at the price point, well below a lot of the other Mexican made brands. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions or comment, make sure you guys leave them down below. I'll put the link in the description box to both their Instagram and their Facebook. So if you guys are interested, you guys can contact them this way. So I'll see you guys next time. Take care.